And so today for Follow Friday, we're going to show more of the power of social media because the ladies that I have on the phone, Kelly Lamb and Brittany Collymore, did I get that right?
Yes, you did.
So you guys are with Helpfulist. Am I getting that right too? Is that how I pronounce the name of the app?
Yep.
All right, very cool. So they reached out to me over Twitter yesterday, and I was looking for a Follow Friday guest for today, so I thought this would be awesome. So yeah. Cool. So tell us a little bit about Helpfulist. You guys are in the middle of doing a Kickstarter campaign, but tell us what it does.
Yeah, so Helpfulist is going to be a new way of doing life. We're working on creating a mobile app that's going to be similar to Uber, but for services and getting stuff done. So the app's going to have location-based technology that's going to allow the users within just a few clicks within the app to request an independent contractor that we want to call go-getters to be able to complete a service for them. So if you wanted someone to come and clean your house or run your errands, pick up dinner for the family, a personal training or a yoga session, all that we want to have available for our users in our app. And we even plan to have manicures, pedicures, barbers, hairstylists, all on demand for our users in less than an hour.
I'm all about that. Kathy talked about how she started her company and she had just had a baby. And so you could have used an app like that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I could use an app like that every day.
Right. Yeah. Well, I do happen to have my groceries delivered to me a lot.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
Who does that?
Instacart.
If I could Uber my life.
Yes.
Yeah. And really, that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah. So how did you come up with the idea?
Well, it's funny. I came up with the app about 2 years ago. I'm a single mom with 2 kids, and they always keep me on my toes. I was actually potty training my oldest daughter, and I told her if she took a potty, then I would get her a kid's meal. Well, long story short, at 11 p.m., she finally went potty, and I'm like, I don't have my car. My parents are asleep. And I had to do something about it. So I called the only delivery service that we have in Fresno. And they said it was going to be an hour and a half and $35.
Oh, no.
Wow.
An hour and a half wait. Yeah.
That's an expensive Happy Meal.
Yeah. And kids don't wait that long.
Yeah. I was like, it should not be this long. And so that sparked the idea of the app. And then after research, I realized that there's so many different peer-to-peer on-demand apps out there. But there isn't one single app that provides all of your everyday needs in one easy-to-use platform. So that's what we have been going with, and it's been amazing. We're adapting the product based on the on-demand economy, and so we're ready to go next year, I think.
Yeah, and so the interesting thing about that, I agree with, there's sort of these focused apps. So Uber, which just lets you, I guess they're trying to feed you sometimes. They have the Uber Eats and things, but they're not they're typically singularly channeled. And it sounds like what you're doing is more around just any kind of on-demand thing that I might need to help make my life easier, or because everybody's strapped for time.
So are you channeled more towards a specific consumer?
I thought I read that it was, you were talking about women, yes or no?
Yes, our primary, it's busy people in general. But when starting off, when I got this idea, I was thinking about single moms like me who are busy. But it's really for any person, professionals, people that don't have time, dual income families especially that don't have the time to go home and cook dinner. They'll be able to get a professional chef if they wanted. That's what our goal is, just for anyone who is busy.
And so you guys are in the middle. Is it a Kickstarter campaign that you're in the middle of doing?
Yes.
Okay.
So we started a crowdfunding campaign actually on Indiegogo a few weeks ago.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I was making sure that I got the right platform so that people can go check it out. Yeah, so Indiegogo, which those are kind of a fun and interesting thing to try to accomplish at the end of the day.
Yeah, our primary goal is really to simplify life for everyone. And, if you think about some of the services that we plan to offer on the app, typically it's associated with someone who has a ton of money having these things in their home, having a manicure, pedicure in your home. And we really want to make that available to everybody.
Yeah, it's some of the research that I did. That's one of the things, just the access to experiences that are often limited to a certain either strata of people who can afford it.
Mm-hmm.
And part of what kind of this Uber gig economy does is bring those services to a more reasonable level.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
I know on QBO chat yesterday, one of the questions we were talking about trends for next year and the gig economy, everyone was talking about that's going to be much more prevalent next year and just keep on growing. Yeah.
And I talk a lot about kicking the cube. So, getting out of the regular 9-to-5 job and doing something like being an on-demand person in the area that you want to work in is a great way to try it out, see what you can charge for the service, if you like it, because some people try to do things that maybe at the end of the day was not what they wanted to do for a living moving forward. So how did you ladies meet each other? Did you already know each other before you came up with this, or?
We didn't actually. It's funny. So Kelly came up with the idea, and Brittany, I've worked in a number of different industries and have always just kind of been looking for something more, something I could do that could really make an impact on a company. And so I started actually looking through some Google circles and other websites that connect either people looking for partners or investors. And Kelly and I magically found each other.
Oh, wow. That's great. So this is a total, this show should have been about, serendipity on social media.
Yes, it should have.
Yeah.
It should have been, because that's how Kathy and I met each other. And it sounds like you guys met each other that way too. And I think that's the disconnect people make when they avoid social media, is they think it's about social media. And in some cases it can be. There are people I only know through social media, but it is about eventually establishing some kind of meaningful IRL, in real life relationship with that person. If you feel like there's some way that you can do business together, or you're going to benefit each other at the end of the day.
Well, and I think of it as, our minds are meeting on social media, and that's I feel like the real connection that most people have anyways. Yeah. So you can do that in any platform, and the platform we choose is social media.
Yeah. Well, it allows you to do things like, you guys are in Fresno, California? Is that right?
I'm in Fresno, and Brittany is in LA.
LA.
So
we'll see.
There you go. We got Fresno, Atlanta, and LA going on. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
So how long is the Indiegogo campaign?
The Indiegogo campaign is it goes for about 60 days.
Oh,
so
okay.
We've been on there for a few weeks.
Yep.
The reason that we chose Indiegogo really was because it has a flexible funding option, so that even if we don't reach our overall goal, we still are able to receive the funds. And for us, at this point, it's really important because we're dedicating all of the funds to the initial development of the app. So designing, coding the front end, creating our interactive design and our prototype for testing.
And so are either one of you, because this is often when I talk to people who are building these things, so are either one of you technical, or is this going to be something where you're going to have to rely on a technical resource to help you be successful?
We are not. We're not technical at all. I actually have a business background. I went to Georgia for undergrad, but then did master's in business school at South Carolina. And Kelly has an amazing marketing and sales background. But we have found a third partner, and we're still talking amongst some others, but for our technical resource. So we really are going to have to throw a lot of money into the development of the app from a techie standpoint.
Well, very cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, and look forward to hearing about how it goes moving forward. So that is the Callie Lamb and Brittany Collymore. They are the founders of Helpfulist.